Welcome to Wellness Spring, where we cut through the health confusion with insights from the world-leading experts. Today, I am thrilled to welcome Professor Carlos González-Carrasco, a son of the sun, of the star, of the sea, whose deep roots in Chile, passion for science and consciousness led him to found the Human Conductivity Institute. In this eye-opening conversation, we explore the power of oneness, true human connection and collaboration, plus why we are dying longer, not living longer, and the fascinating question, can AI ever achieve consciousness? So join me for this transformative journey with Professor Carlos. Welcome, Carlos, to Wellness Spring. It's so lovely to see you.
Thank you very much for inviting me to have this opportunity to enjoy it. I'm sure it's going to be a very wonderful conversation.
Yes, well, from our earlier chats, I know we can chat for hours because you have so much to offer. And on that note, I would love you to tell the listeners a bit about your background, your upbringing, where you were born, and so forth.
Yes. Well, that is already a good way to start. So I am a son of the sun, of the star, of the sea. I learned to dance the music of the desert, the pain of the suffering and the blood of my people. And one day I jumped into the sea to navigate the deepest vein of humanity.
Wow. I didn't expect this for an answer, but it truly is remarkable. And yes, we are
So
all
the background
connected.
is I was born in the north of Chile, near to the sea, the mountains, the desert, most important, the cosmos. So I am deeply connected to the universe. We in the north of Chile and in Latin America, we have this cosmical kind of upbringing from the very beginning, because our cities were not so much developed as the usual westernized city. So there are a lot of areas of the city where we have a very open space. And because of the sea, you walk and swim and enjoy it, the beauty of the ocean. And so I'm deeply connected with nature, and within that, the cosmology that we learn when we are very young in that respect. Yes, so I come from the north of Chile. At a very early age, I became aware, and even more than aware, conscious of different scientific and non-scientific, mostly spiritual connections that we have. So I became very much involved in learning about scientific methodologies and Western Eurocentric. And so at a very early age, I started to question the scientific method, scientific materialism, both from the methodology, but also for the ideological, political, cultural implications for Latin American societies. So I've been an eternal student, as you probably note, in the sense that I think we know very little, and I still knowing very little. I try to also see life as a journey rather than with a destination. My destination is the universe, and so I don't know where I will be, and I don't think any one of us know. So in that sense, my contributions are just another contributions, and they will be evolving all the time as we see an accelerating process now of one type of ideology, which is artificial intelligence, which is, as I question it, intelligence is not equal to consciousness. So there are many definitions of intelligence and many definitions of consciousness. So in that sense, my background, even when I question intelligence, let alone people using intelligence for absolutely everything. So it doesn't mean this scientist or in general people that use the word intelligence really are there for the purpose of consciousness. That's a brief introduction. I mean, in terms of my pursuit of curiosity and inspirations.
Yeah, wow, you covered so much there. And I know from earlier chats you said that you were very blessed that one day your father made from scratch a radio and you had to do all the shopping for the radio parts and you watched him put everything together so you could see, sense, and feel the energy. How old were you then?
About 14, 15, 16, or if not
Wow.
earlier than that. So yes, that was one of the trigger together, I must say, with the Nobel Prize of Physics, who was an expert on materials, and that's Andre Geim, who discovered graphene. And many of the discoveries that we do are, one, the product of curiosity, but also the connection with life as a whole. And when he discovered the graphene, he was looking for something very interesting, which then, as I will explain, how I somehow transfer this amazing knowledge and this amazing discovery. So what is a graphene and where is graphene now? So graphene is described as a semi-material. So it's not defined as a material, but also non-material. So if you will now look at consciousness, he said, if you cannot define consciousness from a material perspective, and therefore it can be measured. So the assumption is you need to measure absolutely everything to prove its existence. So from that perspective, graphene is still up to now not defined as a material. So it's semi-material. What is the issue? Is the lightest conductor of energy. So what it means is that as the lightest conductor of energy, it has the lowest resistance. But this resistance somehow is already coded into the programming of the graphene. Yes.
Right.
So what I said, okay, so the big question was, we are all connected, everything is networked, but what it made possible for the connections to really communicate with each other, meaning neurons, cells, genes. So I started from inside. And so then the example of my father. So to do this analog radio with the two knobs, and so to code, yeah. set the information with the valve, with the resistors, with everything to capture signals. And then to select the signals, meaning to find the tune, being a short wave, a long wave, a modular frequency, FM, because it's analog, it's not digital. And then do the fine tuning. So I thought, well, I need to put all this together. And that's how I developed human conductivity, which is the energy flow that takes place in any network that is connected. So I apply this to humanity. So in that sense, between the two of us, we're doing virtually, but still yet we are transmitting energy, frequency, vibration, resonances. So the issue was the quality, not the quantity. So it was the quality that was a matter of concern. Why? Because they asked me, how many followers you have in Facebook? How many followers you have in Instagram, etc. I don't have Instagram and don't have Facebook because I'm not interested in the quantity of the connection. I'm interested in the quality of the connections. So I kind of developed the concept of quality connectivity is based on quality conductivity. The lower the quality of the conductivity, the lower the quality of the connectivity. It means the higher is the resistance in the communication when the communication process is not effective. It means that they are not synchronizing the listening, the building up the relationship. So that's how I developed the concept of human conductivity.
Wow. So yeah, so I totally agree with that. And also I find that social media like Facebook and Instagram, unless you've got someone, you're paying them to do all your adverts and posts and so forth, it's very much a time waster. And people end up spending hours scrolling, and you're not getting true, meaningful connections. And you mentioned about growing up in Chile on the beach and you had all open spaces, it wasn't built up. So from a very young age, you were blessed to connect with the universal energy. And I personally think that that's a big thing today. People are lacking being out in nature and finding, because when you're in nature, what I've found the last 3 years traveling and living in nature around Australia in the bush, deserts and so forth, you truly, when you allow yourself to be, you truly connect with it. You become one. There's no separation.
Yes.
Because we're living in a world of duality. So could you tell us more about duality and energy?
Yes. So the exposure, for example, to the elements, then you discover that in fact you are multidimensional and that you are multisensorial. However, the way in which humans have developed the environment in the city, for example. Now I see there in Sydney, the high rise, the buildings, and then you have the greenie. Yes. So Sydney give you some, let's say, opportunities in the sense that you can explore if you become aware your sensors. But largely the sensors are reduced. Yeah. So your 9 to 5 or whatever activity, it reduces your sensors. So you don't fully understand the multisensoriality of everything that you feel and sense. And in that sense, energy is multisensorial. Also, energy is multidimensional. And energy comes from different perspectives because of the universe. So we call it in Latin America the pluriverse.
Right.
So in that sense, this duality is largely a Eurocentric belief system. And we are stuck with this belief system. So I attribute this to mostly about how belief system program the sensorial activity, the multidimensional activity, in terms of the low quality of the connection between us, human with human, but also us with nature. So we never seen it this up to when the most, let's say, predominant or supremacy thinking from the West arrived in our schools and universities is that our mind, our body, our spirit are separated. But in the ancient cosmology, it was not separated. They were all one, as you mentioned, is oneness. So
Yeah.
from that perspective, I think we are now in this process of transformation where humanity is waking up to reach this level of awareness and consciousness in the sense that, yes, I have a mind, yes, I have a body, and yes, I have a spiritual life. And this, it have taken 6,000 years to discover this, where it was there all the time. And
Yeah,
this duality,
sometimes.
this duality have been very dehumanizing and very, I call it this process of and again, a little bit controversial, but it depends what we will define by nature in the sense of we humans self-appointed themselves as subject in front of the law. So the law define us as subject, but the law define nature as an object. So the subject can do anything he wants with the object. But my view is that we have become object of materialism to start. So we are just another merchandise, as you were mentioning in Instagram and all these
Yeah.
social media platform. We are the product for sale. Yeah, they acquire illegally our data. They influence our life, our mindset, pretending they are just harmless technologies.
Mm.
Yes.
That's an interesting way of looking at it, as we are the product, because on a human level with sales, I've always, when I've taught people how to network, I've always said, you are your product. You can sell whatever, whether it's a massage course or financial products or real estate. You are the best person. If it's your business, you are the best person to sell it. But you're saying, from what I understand, is by going on social medias, the powers to be behind the social medias can take all our data and information.
Correct. I mean, I will reframe it in a different way, in the sense that our information, data, is supposed to empower us. So that's the only power that we have. Yes.
Right.
But through the system that is been somehow developed by humans, um, it consists in disempowering us. And ultimately, this empowerment is to empower others. So by giving away for free your information, yes, you are
Yes.
empowering someone else that will use the information to benefit themselves and is telling you, no, you will benefit too because you will be connected with this. You can put your photos, you can put all your things. Now it's becoming almost incredible in the sense that, and I was talking to my nephew this morning, how does it work? why I don't publish that much when I'm trying to question the status quo is because now they will look, the algorithm, this is what I'm going to share with you now, it's not another human that is analyzing what you are writing or what you are saying. It's the algorithm. So the algorithm decide if what you're publishing is misinformation or disinformation. And therefore, they can cancel you and remove you. So it's not even a human, it's the algorithm that is doing it. So you go deeper and say, who programmed this algorithm? Who coded the algorithm? Who are the architect of this algorithm? How we have empowered the owners of these coders and programmers and architects and designers of software development. That's the reason why I decided, hey, you cannot speak from the outside. You need to go and work for a company that is involved in what you want to learn. So that's the reason why I went to go and work in Holland for 3.5 years in digital transformation and software development. So I can tell you how is programmed the algorithm and how I can
Wow.
beat the algorithm.
Wow, that's amazing. And because you mentioned AI earlier as well, I was going to ask you, how can we truly remain human in an increasingly tech-driven world, which is what you're alluding to when you were saying you don't like to publish?
Yes, this is a very deep question, Beverly, in the following sense. Science and technology are not science and technology as a harmless theoretical or practical endeavor. They are ideological, cultural, physiological, psychological belief systems. So artificial intelligence, the narrative, is a technological solution to anything. Absolutely now, there is nothing that artificial intelligence cannot address. Yes.
Mm.
But in fact, for me, it's a cultural transformation. It's an ideological transformation. It's a psychological transformation. So what artificial intelligence does is a hacking technology. It hack your belief system, it hack your culture, it hack your ideology, and most important, it hack your consciousness and hack your human spirit. Now, because it's developed and somehow promoted as a purely technological solution, then of course we miss out on the true implications of any technology. So if you want to go deep on this decision-making process right now, do you know the algorithm is deciding where the drones is going to go, where the satellites will identify a target in a particular geolocations and will destroy that target? Yes. So for example,
Yeah.
I'm doing at the moment not just the research on what we call brain-computer interfaces, because I think that physical implant of a chip, as Neuralink is doing with Elon Musk, and go back to the graphene issue. Now, what they want is the whole information of our neurosystem, of our biological structures. That's what they want, and put all that information in a computer. Yes.
Wow. That's very scary in my opinion.
So, but now you don't need a chip. It's non-surgical graphene implants. Now we come
Wow.
back to graphene, yes? So graphene
Yeah.
is a semi-material, but it's so thin that if you put the graphene You don't even think that you have the graphene. Now, the graphene have been programmed, have been coded, yes, to get all the signals, frequencies, vibration, resonance, that coming from all your internal organism. So we your Apple Watch, Alexa, I mean, Alexa, of course, is not is another way of obtaining information. And you think, hey, I am the master. Yeah, because they tell you we are empowering you. You are the master. No, 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 no. You are not a master. You are a slave.
Yeah, you're a slave to the technology.
Yes, so now we're going to see really a rapid and accelerated process of non-surgical implant in the whole biological structure of our body. But ultimately, it's not about the body, it's about our consciousness, our spirit.
So how do you define consciousness?
Oh, very good. There is not one definition of consciousness. As we are multisensorial and multidimensional, and we work in the pluriverse, there cannot be one definition of consciousness. As I mentioned before, so consciousness is coming from different perspectives. So, for example, Yuval Harari think consciousness is to do with suffering. Yes. So he just produced no consciousness as a multidimensional and multisensorial activity. It's not just about feelings. Yes. So there you go to a different level, because consciousness is not just a scientific issue. And then you have the big issue of where is consciousness? Yes.
Yeah.
And can we measure it? Yes. So then you analyze consciousness mostly from a materialistic perspective. And I come from the school where the embodiment of oneness is mind, body, and soul, or the spirit. So in that sense, conscious is multidimensional. It cannot be reduced to one specific expressions of emotion, expression of feelings, expressions of reality, because we perceive reality from our own lenses. Yeah. So if you change the lenses, you change the reality, which I learned with filming. So if you change the filters of the camera, you will get a different reality. And it's the same, let's say, landscape that you are filming. I will give you the example. So we missed the filming of a sunset, of an amazing kind of take. Yes. So I was very sad because I was the producer, blah, blah, blah. And the cameraman had been talking to the director. So I went there. This is a disaster, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry. Get everything ready for 3 a.m. in the morning. We will start filming at about 5 o'clock in the morning. So I have to convince everybody to get ready for 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, all the cars, the whole show. And guess what? It was easy. They just put different filters. If you watch the film, you have no idea that this sunset have been filmed at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. That's incredible.
So what did I learn from that? Is your perspective, is your filters. Change the filter, transform the perception.
Right. Yeah, I believe in that. And it's about how you perceive your reality to be. And there's a lot of talk on, almost like the movie The Sliding Doors, the parallel universes. So you can raise your consciousness and being a different version of yourself. And so you covered a lot there, and you've mentioned beliefs a few times. So do you want to talk about how we develop beliefs and how we can reprogram our beliefs and transformation of our energy and mental thoughts?
Yeah, well, fascinating there, because now we go deep on belief system. And belief system are largely fictional stories, which some people attribute and put names to this belief system. And those fictional stories have been transformed into real stories. And so then you have the mythology, you have the ritual, you have the symbols, and then it's converted into the dominant narrative. So in this sense, the belief system is largely composed of three main pillars: religion, culture, and ideologies. And these are all interconnected. So, for example, the claim that you are the chosen one. So that means that there is a creator of the belief system. And the creator of the belief system, we don't know who created the creator. But the creator is used to say, I've been appointed by the creator. I've been chosen by the creator to be the monarch, to be the representative of this creator in the planet. So the whole power structure is based on this concept, that this binary concept. I am a human, but there is a superhuman, an emperor that have created not just this planet, but the solar system or the universe or the pluriverse. Yes. So that is a belief system.
Yeah.
So in that sense, the process of, for example, when ideologies fail, then they use religion to somehow do a transformation where the religions take over the ideology. Yeah. And the same with culture. So I said that we are not determined by culture, we are not determined by our genes, we are not determined by our neurosystem, and not even determined by data. But in fact, the process of understanding our belief system, and as you said, do we have the power to reprogram or to transform this belief system? And the answer is yes. But at large, it seems that the keys have always been there to unlock. Yeah. But we are locked because we think the key belongs to someone else. So in this case, let's say the nation state, the politicians. No, they have the power. Yeah. I vote for them to represent me. So I give away my power to someone else, and I disempower myself. So I don't have the keys. So I somehow, in this form, I'm empowering others, give away my power, and within that, I cannot reprogram, I cannot transform. Yes. So as when we become aware that we have the keys, the question is, how are you going to use the keys now? So then you discover, hey, I have all the potential to really unlock myself. So I work on this process of where are the keys, who have the keys, and then they say to make them, you have the keys. It's just you didn't know that you have them.
Oh. Well, you covered a lot there, and because you've talked about culture a few times, and I know you've lived in 56 different countries, and you've also talked about collaboration. So,
Yes.
how central to your work is collaboration? And how do you define true collaboration, for example? And why do you think it's so critical in today's world?
Well, first, let's do with culture,
Yeah,
in the sense that we were to believe that we are determined by our culture, and therefore that we interact through culture. And I say, no, I don't do business with China. I don't do business with United States or German. No, I do business with Ken or Leon, who is a Chinese and live in
mm,
China, but he is a person, a human being. And the same everywhere in the world, meaning I never pigeonhole people or label people or categorize people, put etiquette to say, no, Beverly is Anglo-Saxon. No, Beverly is Beverly, you see? Now, of course, behind the label, there is always story, but I want to know the story behind the label. Since I don't use the label, I want to really know the human person. Who is this person? As you're telling me about my background, you wanted to know
yeah,
what was my background. And you said, well, uh, is he Chilean? Is he British? Is he what? No, Carlos is Carlos. Yes. So in that sense, for me, the focus is on humanity, not in the culture. So I don't connect with the culture. I connect with the human being who lives in that, let's say, material territorial definition. You see, even the nation
yeah,
state, the concept of the nation state. So, for example, this incredible kind of academic assumptions of the stereotype, of the typical, of the normal. No, 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 he's just the normal English. He's the normal or the typical British or the average person. These scientific foundations are completely flawed. It's based on a normal distribution. So here is the average, here is the typical, here is the normal. It doesn't exist. So what are you doing? Is you're doing creating relationship with humans. So it's a human to human, and that's the reason why my main contribution is conscious human to human empowerment, no culture to culture empowerment. So there, I kind of address the issue of culture in the sense that they do exist, but like the universe, in the universe of culture, there are multiple universes, starting from your inner universe. So what I want to know, what is your inner universe? And they want to know what is my inner universe. Yeah. So I don't want to know about China and India and Japan. I want to know about you. Yeah. So then
yeah. That's
I develop a new methodology, of course, is you design to stay human, going back a little bit of artificial intelligence, and to become humane. So when I am encountering people, I am looking in the sense of what is the level of humanity? Yes. How humane is this person? It doesn't matter that is a taxi driver, that could be more human than someone that is, I don't know, a secretary of NATO, for example.
Right.
I will have more in common with the taxi driver, with the general secretary of NATO.
Yeah, because you're connecting on a heart-to-heart level, and you talked about the micro, but before we go deeper into that, because you touched on our belief systems and how we give away the power. So if we vote for someone, for example, however, we do have to, if we don't vote for someone, then the way it is in the countries, in most countries now, especially here in Australia, if you don't vote, you get fined and they stop your driving license and things like that until you pay the fine. And you mentioned about the graphene and you're talking about humane, you know, is it going to be compulsory to put the graphene on it to get our information from our brain?
Well,
So,
now you touch the fundamental, which is supremacy, hegemonic, and dominance, and ultimate control. So this has been going on all the way in history. But in the last, I will just give you a date, is 1823, the Monroe Doctrine, which is still operating today. So there is what we call might is right. But now the might is right is collapsing, and its collapse, it tried to control absolutely everything. So the reset is, I am losing everything, but I need to reset with a technological solution. Yes.
yeah,
So I reset with a technological solution, yes, but no one knows there is a continuity from the previous supremacy, from the previous domination, from the previous hegemony, from the previous control. So what they want is to create a supra ideology, a supra control, a supra solution, what is now called tokenization. So we will become digital tokens.
mm,
It's called real asset tokenizations. Yeah. Wealth, real wealth asset. And this is a process of tokenization. So in the old days, if you were working in a mine for a British company in South Africa or in anywhere in the world, they pay you with a token. You
yeah,
can only spend this token in the stores or shop that belong to that company. You cannot use this token somewhere else. What
right.
it means, if you don't have a digital identity, you cannot be in the system. And by default, you are excluded from the system.
Wow. Yeah, and I understand that. And there's, obviously the way the world has changed a lot with currencies as well, and with Bitcoin and other things like that. And also, when I first came to Australia, they had something called barter card. So no money was exchanged. And until you buy something, then you paid a small amount. But you and I could swap
Yes,
services,
yes.
and then someone else, maybe I don't need to see you. I can give the money that you gave me, the credit, to someone else.
Yes,
So,
even money is a belief system. It's a fictional
yeah,
story. So it's the lowest of talking about consciousness. In terms of vibration, frequencies, resonance, money is the lowest level of consciousness in terms of energy. If you just analyze money from that kind of concept, scientific concept, money is a fictional story. So it's an artificial story. Yes, but it's believed by religion, by ideologies, by cultures. All of them believe in money, and even more in greed. That is more a
yeah,
Eurocentric and a Western-centric concept of the money. Yeah. So
Yeah.
all of them are involved in the same fictional story that money, yes, if you analyze this from the point of view of science, is a process of lower levels of consciousness. And so the issue of digital identity, yes, is different from the biological identity, because in the biological identity, at least you were operating on an analog identity, biologically speaking. Now you will be
Yeah.
reduced to a digital identity. Yeah. And
Wow.
yeah, and by being reduced to a digital identity, you can only operate in the system that is digitalized.
Yes. It's very specific. So you're either in it or by default you're not.
You are not.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So
So
I know you.
it's a system of exclusion,
Yeah.
and it's a system of disempowering.
Yeah. And like we were chatting earlier, now is the time to move into a world full of inclusion and heart-based and seeing the oneness and connecting with nature and collaborating. And I know you're going to be collaborating with Cindy Golf very soon in November, doing an event November the 9th in
Yes.
France. Do you want to tell us more about that?
Yes. I became aware of the work of Cindy because she was a keynote speaker at an event of the Society for Intercultural Research and Studies. I have moved away a long time ago from cultural kind of determinism. And Cindy have read my work on science as I was sharing with you the human conductivity. So
Yes.
we start to talk, and we realize that we have two really amazing expertise and knowledge and wisdom. And I have always said that science is not enough. Yes, and I continue to say that. That's multiple perspective, the pluri-universe.
Yeah.
So, and arts, not in the narrow sense, but in the sensorial sense, is multisensorial. So I come with the scientific multidimensionality and the pluriverse. You come with the multisensorial. So then we said, hey, there is something here. Yes, because I do harmony
Yes.
in terms of her arts. And I say, well, I do hope because of the state of dehumanization, denaturalization, self-destruction, decay, etc., etc. And we said, well, let's not focus on what is collapsing. Let's focus in bringing a positive contribution. So that's how we say, okay, let's start with harmony and hope, a journey to peace. So there we're going to explore inner peace and outer peace.
Yeah, that's wonderful because obviously what's happening within is a reflection of what's happening without and vice versa, the micro and the macro.
Yes, so we are now projecting other projects, of course. For example, one is the science and art of human collaboration, and that's of course, for transforming business. So designing largely a transformation focus on humans. So, for example, recognition, validation of each other as human beings, issues associated with mutual empowerment, so human to human empowerment, issues associated with shared meaning, shared interest, yes, So these go far beyond ideology, culture, or religion. So
Yeah.
that's how now we are putting together our um, qualities and attributes in blending now science and art, or art and science, to contribute to a better understanding of each other and with Mother Nature. So that's I'm really looking forward to work in this project with Dr. Cindy.
Yeah, and I met Dr. Cindy when I lived in France and Monaco, and she used to be an orchestra conductor, and
Yes,
it's amazing, you know, when you think about what goes on behind the scene and how important it is to be so in tuned with each individual member of the orchestra, and you know, just one flick of the hand, one flick of the eye, and they all know what to do. And she develops that, connects that with the business and how we're all connected and need to do
yes.
it. And I'm sure what are you hoping, excuse the pun, for everybody to get out of the day? Because going back to the world has changed since the lockdown here in Australia, I'm sure it's globally, many people have chosen now to work from home, and a lot of
Yes.
companies are encouraging their staff. So what are you hoping for the business people to achieve in this workshop?
Well, as we said, it's the quality of the connectivity and the quality
Yeah,
of the conductivity. For example, as you said, in relation to Cindy, in the whole signals and frequencies and vibrations, which I do it from the perspective of human conductivity. But for example, when you are working in a business, then a business is a living system, or any organization is a living system. So then you start looking at what is the anatomy of a living system. Yeah. So then one of the key issue of the living system is collaboration. They are all networked to collaborate. So even I changed the word collaboration and I say it's co-labor action.
oh, that's a lovely way of putting it.
Yeah, co-labor, let's
Yeah,
do it together and take action. Yeah. So in
yeah,
a living system, you have many, let's say, dimensions. It's a multidimensional living system. But to
yeah.
make it viable, because it's not just living, it has to be a viable system. And
Mm.
who make possible that a living system is viable? It's us, human. So
Yes,
in that sense, is the quality, again, the quality of the co-labor action.
yes,
So let's connect. That's Cindy. Let's connect. So connect. Yeah, it's all even invisible signals. Yeah, of course, you see, while she does the hands or the eyes, the
yeah,
audience doesn't know all the signals that are taking place. By signals, I mean frequency, vibration, resonances, electromagnetic fields, whatever. However,
yeah,
this is the kind of harmonization or synchronization of all these constellations. And then I apply this to my science now from the point of view of living system.
right.
So a living system, for example, this concept of diversity, no, it's intrinsic to the whole universe. Every single organism is unique. So this oneness is intrinsic to us. The issue is the belief system. It's not
Mm.
the biological. This is how I became involved with epigenetics and neuroplasticity. Yeah. A lot of people look at the technical solution with quantum physics. No, it's the biology. It's there when you know that the biology are is a cosmos of interconnection.
Yeah.
All the organisms are interconnected. Yes. So in that sense, diversity is a diversion. What you need to focus is in the quality of the connections. So all these cultural wars, yes, about race. Why race? It's because scientifically, many years ago, very clever people were saying that the white race and white civilization was superior to any other. Now, even up to now, we still, with this scientific kind of narrative, which is still prevalent and dominant in many, even medical school. You see, so what that's produced? Divisions. It produced division between men and women, men and men, women and women, religion against religion, older people with younger people, people with different sexual preference in relation to people with just, it's all about dividing and rule, because that's how you keep people ignorant. And so this is a very serious issue in the sense that instead, as you say, oneness and wholeness, yes, then you get into this specific issue. For example, a living system is a self-organized and self-represented system. And why we get into this? Because going back to, you say, one member, one vote. So they told us of this concept, political democracy through representation. So what does it mean? Is that in a system, which is a living system, the representation is self-representation. So your eyes represent itself through your eyes. The color of your eyes, the way you look after your eyes, the same. So this is my self-representation of me and of you, of course. Yes. So, and it's self-organized. The system is self-organized. But it's the belief system that destroyed the fundamental issues of a living system. So, for example, all the energy is distributed through the whole system. When I say energy, power, knowledge, this is energy. So in a company, given the belief system, the power is centralized. Yeah, the power is concentrated, is accumulated under the concept of the power organization. But a living system, the energy have to be, the power have to be distributed through the whole system. So there is not a specific center. Okay, for example, this is something fundamental, is your brain. Yeah, everything is in your brain. Now, I know that is not my brain that is controlling me. I am the master of my brain, and it's not brain is my master. Now, how do you get to this level? Is when you become conscious. That is not the brain is your master, or that you are your brain. You are more than your brain.
So how do you help people to become aware? Because what I understand, you're talking about being consciously aware of what level you're at.
I help facilitate for them to do it themselves. For them, it's a whole methodology in terms of designing or co-designing the kind of question. So here we go to reframing questions. Yes.
Yeah.
So you may ask, what is human? So you get the biological, the physiological, etc., etc. And then you say, can we ask something else? Say, yeah. How you became humane? Wow, they changed completely the conversation. So if you want to know some of the techniques, you use the famous 5W and 1H. So when, yeah, who,
Yeah.
yeah, and how, and you can reframe them. So the issue is not to stay with the classical traditional question and tell the person, okay, if you were to ask a different question, how will you reframe the question? And that will lead to another conversation. And you start exploring all kind of things when the story comes out.
Right. Yeah, I really enjoyed your article, and in it you mentioned the Systema Sapien.
Yes.
And do you want to tell people about that? Because I think this is what you're alluding to right now. And what do you do when you consult a business, for example?
Yes, a living system is part of a holistic system. And Systema Sapien was always there in the sense that all our living organism, are organism of energy and consciousness. So the issue was, is this only framed with the story of men? Or is it this a much holistic story? So sapient is mean wisdom. Sapiens is different from sapient, it's a plural. I used systema because of the word in English is system. But systema was something that it have to be, you see, the Eurocentric Western is the concept of sustainable. No. A system, as I said, it have to be a viable system. So it have to be attainable and sustainable. In Spanish is sostenible, sustentable.
Right.
So we have a very, let's say, defined expressions of this system. So the system, as it happened, now, well, there are a lot of speculation about what is coming to Florida in terms of the storm that will is coming to that particular part of the world and the level of destruction that is going to produce. So there you have immediately the relationship with what is happening around the planet or even further from the planet, and how that is going to impact directly a particular geolocation. So in this sense, when I was looking at Systema Sapien, was somehow questioning the concept of the Homo sapien. The Homo sapien have been developed in order to enhance the narrative of the power of men. Yeah. So that Homo sapien, man,
Wisdom.
wisdom. But for me, the wisdom is not in men. Even more, I will say that women are wiser than men, and Mother Nature, she owns all the wisdom. And who is connected closer to Mother Nature is not men, is women. For all
And
kind of,
why
yes,
do you say women are more connected to Mother Nature?
the sensorial activity. Remember when I said to you,
Oh, yeah.
Cindy bring the harmonization with the sensors,
Yeah.
and I bring the science of multidimensionality. Of course, they are interconnected. Yeah, multidimensionality is connected with multisensoriality. But somehow the discrimination of women have given up the opportunity that in the 21st century, we have this reservoir of sensoriality through women. I truly believe that we need to do it together. Yes, because men have to
Yeah.
wake up the sensors and starting connecting. Yes. So it's
Yeah, for
much, for
sure.
example, this is amazing. You know what? And this is without any prejudice with men and women. Certain men connect very quickly with what I am sharing, this conductivity. But guess
Yeah.
what? My female colleagues, they just immediately identify themselves. This is me. Yeah. So
Yeah, I can understand that.
yeah. So I think we have a reservoir of humanity, of this sense, this is multisensoriality available to us for the 21st century. Now, many people will say, Carlos, you are an idealist. Women have been participating with men to enhance the existing system, and they are part of the existing system. Yes. I say
Yeah.
yes, 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 but uh, the bad is that women, because of this discrimination, because of the exclusion, yes, not all the women feel identified with the system. So yes, they've been part of the system, of the materialistic system, etc., etc., and yes, they have reproduced um, other human beings to be part of the system. You see,
Yeah.
but at the same time, um, when you transform yourself, you're also looking at the transformation of the system. So you cannot really just only do it yourself. And this is the main thing about consciousness. Consciousness is not about an individualistic, consumeristic process of spirituality, of well-being. No, consciousness is a human-to-human connection. That's how you really become conscious. Mhm. So you can do your own individual spiritual life, or you consume your well-being, but it doesn't mean you are conscious.
Yeah. I guess what's popping to mind is the yogis of the past, like they used to look into people's eyes, they say the God in me respects the God in you. So namaste.
Yes,
So it's all about that heart to heart connection, remembering that we are more than just this physical body.
yes,
So I'm a Reiki healer, so we connect with the universe. Whether we say a prayer or not, we connect with the universe and ask to be a channel for the
yes,
healing. So
yes,
we're inviting the universe, God, our creator, whatever you want to call it, inside of us. And in that moment when you're doing a healing, whether it's to a person, an animal, plant, a
yes,
situation or circumstance, you are one with the creator and you
yes,
collaborating with the creator.
yes, yes. So we go back, I mean, the three main, let's say, in the term of, I call it circles of conscious conversation. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a dynamic process, yes. And
yeah,
we inside the circle, you have first you need to connect. So
yeah,
quality of the connection, then quality of the conductivity, yes,
yeah,
of the whole, yes, and then it's
yeah,
co-labor action.
Yeah.
So it's not enough to be connected. It's not enough to have good quality conductivity. You need to go further than that. And co-labor action is the foundation of consciousness.
Wow. That's a wonderful way of looking at it. Thank you.
It's very simple. I mean, these are very complex things, but I tend to kind of make it simple in the sense that, yes, we are connected. Yes, the connection is have high quality conductivity. What we're going to do with it? How are we going to do it? Where are we going to do it? With whom we're going to do it? And that is the whole issue of collaboration. How are we going to collaborate? When are we going to collaborate? Yes.
Oh, wow. I know we could talk about each little topic for hours. It's been an absolutely fabulous conversation. And I always ask my guests, if there was one thing you could do to change the world, what would it be?
Is to change yourself and transform yourself, find the keys and unlock from where you are and start a journey. Don't look for a destination.
Yeah. Oh, that is such wonderful words of advice. And yeah, I'm definitely going to start practicing the 3 circles, and hopefully everybody listening to this call will. And they can, I'll put all your details with the show notes. And just one more thing, because this is a wellness show. What is your wellness go-to?
Could you repeat the last bit, please?
What is your wellness go-to? Something you like to do to keep well?
Oh, I love dancing, cooking, music, swimming, walking, anything. As you see from my smile, I mean, it's
Yeah,
okay. Yesterday, I sent this to my friend. Uh, we are not living longer. We are dying longer. Oh, okay. What it means is we've been poisoned, not just mentally, but physically, with the whole food industry. The food
yeah,
industry is a toxic, corrosive, poisoning industry.
yeah. This is one of my pet passions, soil health equals human health.
Yes,
And, we are being poisoned, and it's time for humanity to wake up
yes.
and choose to live instead of dying.
Well, this is the whole challenge that we have. We, as I said, if I were to define culture, it will be a culture of life for life by life. So it means that this is a culture that intertwine, yes, living
Yeah,
systems, yes, living systems with Mother
yeah.
Nature. So it's a complete different concept with traditional culture as an artifact. It's a material artifact, yes, based on Western values.
Well, thank you for your sharing of your wonderful words of wisdom, and thank you for giving up your precious time. And good luck with your event. And I'm definitely going to have you back on the show because you've got so many nuggets there that we can keep talking about. So thank you.
Thank you, Beverly, so much. And I hope the audience will enjoy this conversation. It's great to be invited to your podcast.